Welcome to a deep dive into a topic that's, well, it's truly cosmic in scale. We're talking about the Higgs boson.
And it feels especially relevant now, with the passing of Peter Higgs, the physicist, who first proposed this particle even existed.
Yeah, his passing, it really seemed to resonate throughout the scientific community. I mean, there were so many heartfelt tributes
And for good reason. I mean, his work, to put it simply, it changed how we understand the universe, how it works. It's fundamental.
We've got some really fascinating material to unpack today, including insights from a physicist who works directly with the Large Hadron Collider, Yves Saroy.
A fantastic resource.
And a recent article on space.com by Robert Lea. So let's just dive right in. What exactly is the Higgs boson and, why should we care?
So imagine the universe is this giant cosmic puzzle, right? The Higgs boson, it's like that elusive final piece, the one that completes the picture.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But what makes this puzzle piece so crucial to the whole thing?
It's the key to understanding why anything in the universe, and I mean anything, has mass. Without the Higgs boson, stars, planets, you and I having this conversation, it just wouldn't exist.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty big deal. So this tiny particle, it's like the foundation for the entire structure of the universe as we know it.
Exactly. But before we get into the Higgs boson itself, I think we need to kind of rewind a bit. We need to talk about the mystery it solves. Why do particles have mass in the first place?
Yeah, that's a question I'm sure we've all pondered. It's like we know some things are heavier than others, right? I mean, you can't just flick a car down the street the way you could a little pebble.
Right. But why is that? What's really going on, at the most fundamental level? That's the question.
Okay, so then how does this Higgs boson actually fit into all of this?
That's where the Higgs field comes in. It's like this invisible energy field that it basically permeates all of space. And the Higgs boson, it's the particle that's associated with this field. It's like, think of it as the ripple in a pond,
Okay, so if this Higgs field is everywhere, how does it actually give particles mass? It still seems kind of, abstract.
Okay, imagine a crowded room. It's packed full of people. Some people, they can walk through easily. They barely interact with the crowd, right? So they're like particles with very little mass.
And then others, they get swarmed as they try to move through. They're slowed down by all the interactions. Those are the heavier particles.
You got it. The more a particle interacts with that Higgs field, the more mass it gets. It's like, think about trying to walk through molasses versus walking through the air.
So the Higgs field, that's the cosmic molasses. And the Higgs boson, that's like a tiny ripple in that molasses.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. Even the Higgs boson itself, it gets its mass from interacting with the Higgs field.
Wait, so it interacts with itself? That's kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mind bender, but it's crucial to the whole theory. The Higgs boson isn't just some passive bystander. It actively takes part in this mass-giving process.
It's like the ultimate feedback loop. It creates itself in a way.
And that, in essence, is why the discovery of this Higgs boson was such a monumental achievement. It confirmed, decades of theoretical work, and it finally gave us that missing piece in our understanding of how the universe gained its structure.
So finding this cosmic molasses ripple, it sounds like quite the story.
Absolutely. Yeah. Contacting the Higgs boson, it was a massive undertaking. I mean, it required the most complex machine ever built. The Large Hadron Collider.
The LHC, right. That's that giant particle accelerator in Switzerland, the one you always hear about, makes headlines whenever they think they found something new and exciting.
That's the one. It's a 27-kilometer ring. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And it's buried deep underground.
Yeah.
And this is where protons are smashed together. And we're talking nearly the speed of light here.
So they're recreating the Big Bang, but in miniature.
Well, yeah, in a sense, that's kind of what's happening. Those collisions, they release just this tremendous amount of energy. And for a brief moment, they recreate conditions that are, they're very similar to the very, very first fractions of a second after the universe was born.
Wow. And that's how they found the Higgs boson, hiding in the debris of these mini Big Bangs.
Well, not quite that simple. See, the thing about the Higgs boson is it's incredibly unstable. It exists for just a tiny, tiny fraction of a second, and then, poof, decays into other particles.
Okay, so then how can they be sure they even found it if it disappears that quickly? It's trying to catch a snowflake on your tongue.
And that's where the ingenuity of these scientists is just incredible. They develop these unbelievably sophisticated detectors. I mean, they're essentially high-tech cameras. They can actually capture these fleeting traces of these particle decays. It's amazing.
So they're not actually seeing the Higgs boson itself, but they're seeing its shadow, right? Like the particles that it leaves behind.
Exactly. It's like, imagine like detective work, you know? So by analyzing the patterns of these decay products, physicists, they were able to confirm that, yes, the Higgs boson is real. And they did this with an incredibly, incredibly high degree of certainty.
That's amazing. It's incredible to think that we can even confirm its existence when it's so, I don't know, so elusive.
It really is. And you know, the discovery itself, that was just the beginning. I mean, physicists, they're hard at work right now studying its properties, and they're doing this in even greater detail now. They're really trying to understand, like, its role, what role it plays in shaping the universe we see today.
So what are some of the big, I don't know, the big questions that they're still trying to answer about this Higgs boson?
Well, one of the biggest ones is whether there are other types of Higgs bosons out there. Some theories predict that there's a whole family of these particles, each with their own unique properties.
So the Higgs boson that we found, it might not be alone. There could be a whole bunch of them out there, each one like influencing the universe in different ways.
That's the idea. And if we do find evidence of these hypothetical particles, it could completely revolutionize, and I mean completely revolutionize, our understanding of, well, everything, really. Everything from the fundamental forces of nature to even the fabric of space-time itself.
That's wild. But finding these other Higgs bosons, it sounds even more challenging than finding that first one.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It'll likely require even more powerful particle accelerators.
Yeah.
And we're going to need more sophisticated detectors too.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of science, right? It's this never-ending quest for knowledge.
Yeah.
We keep pushing further.
And speaking of, never-ending quests, I think we also have to talk about, you mentioned earlier some lingering mysteries, the ones that are kind of connected to the stability of the universe.
Right, yes. Well, the Higgs field, it explains how particles get their mass. It also kind of introduces some new puzzles, some intriguing puzzles. And one of them is, well, the stability of the universe itself. That might actually be in question.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying the universe, it might not be as stable as we thought this whole time? Like, how is that even possible?
It all comes down to something called quantum fluctuations. And these are tiny, and I mean tiny, random energy fluctuations that are, they're happening all the time, constantly, at the subatomic level.
So these fluctuations are, they're happening right now as we're talking.
Yeah, they're just an inherent part of how the quantum world works. And, they usually kind of average out on larger scales, but there's this theoretical possibility that a powerful enough fluctuation, it could disrupt the Higgs field itself.
Disrupt it how? Like, what would that even look like?
Right. Okay, imagine the Higgs field. It's like a valley. It's like a valley in this mountainous landscape. And right now, the universe, it's nestled comfortably at the bottom of that valley, right? But a sufficiently large quantum fluctuation, it could act like a sudden jolt, and that could potentially push the universe, push it over the edge and into a different valley, essentially a different state of existence altogether.
Okay, that's a pretty unsettling thought. What would even happen if the universe transitioned to this different state? Like, what would that even look like?
Honestly, it's hard to say for sure. Some theories, they suggest that it could lead to, catastrophic consequences. Essentially, the laws of physics as we know them, they'd be rewritten. Stars collapsing, atoms disintegrating. It wouldn't be good. Not at all.
Yeah, that's definitely not a future I'm looking forward to. So are we doomed? Is there any hope here?
I wouldn't panic just yet. These universe-ending fluctuations, they're thought to be incredibly, incredibly rare. In fact, if they do happen, they're likely billions, if not trillions of years away.
Okay, that's slightly reassuring, I guess. But it still makes you wonder, right? Like, is there something else out there? Something we haven't discovered yet? Something that helps keep the universe, I don't know, keep it from going completely haywire?
That is the billion-dollar question. And it's one that physicists, they're actively investigating. Some theories, they propose that new particles exist, undiscovered particles that could help to stabilize the Higgs field and prevent these catastrophic fluctuations. That's what they're hoping.
So it's like the universe has this built-in safety net, but we haven't found it yet. We haven't figured out how it works.
That's one way to think about it. The Higgs boson, it's crucial. We know that. But it might just be the very tip of the iceberg. There could be this whole hidden world of particles and forces out there, and we're just starting to peek into it. It's really quite exciting.
It really is. This is all so mind-blowing. It makes you realize that the universe is a much stranger and a much more wonderful place than I think any of us can even imagine.
It certainly is. And that's what makes studying it so incredibly rewarding. Every new discovery, it's like this doorway opens up, new avenues to explore. You know, it leads us further down this rabbit hole of knowledge. It's an adventure.
Yeah, and it really makes you appreciate, you know, how much we don't know, how much is still out there just waiting to be discovered.
That's what's so exciting about it, though, right? We're constantly pushing at the boundaries of what we thought we knew, looking further into the unknown. It's an incredible time to be in this field.
And to think, it all comes back to the Higgs boson, this tiny, fleeting particle. It's given us a glimpse into these profound questions about the universe, about its stability, its very essence. It's kind of amazing.
It really is remarkable. When you think about it, it's like we found this hidden message, but it's not hidden in some scroll or ancient text. It's like it's encoded in the fabric of reality itself. That's what's so incredible about it.
So where do we go from here? How do we even begin to, I don't know, unravel these mysteries? What's the next step?
Well, the Large Hadron Collider, it's actually undergoing a pretty major upgrade right now. It's slated to be completed in 2029.
Oh, right. That's that high luminosity upgrade we talked about, right? The one that's going to, like, supercharge the LHC, give it even more power.
Exactly. That's the one. And this upgrade, it's going to significantly, and I mean significantly, increase the number of collisions that they can create and study. It's going to give us a much clearer picture of what's happening at the subatomic level.
More collisions, more data, more chances for groundbreaking discoveries. It's almost like we're upgrading to a higher resolution telescope or something.
That's a great way to put it. With this high luminosity LHC, we're going to be able to study the Higgs boson in unprecedented detail. And who knows, we might find things we never even thought to look for.
Yeah, maybe we'll find evidence of those other Higgs bosons we were talking about. Or maybe we find something completely unexpected, something that throws everything we thought we knew out the window and forces us to, I don't know, rewrite the textbooks.
The possibilities are pretty much endless. And it's that sense of wonder, that drive to explore the unknown. That's what keeps scientists like me going. It's what motivates us.
It reminds me of something else Yves Sirois said, something that really stuck with me. He said, "This is why thousands of scientists from all around the world are still dedicated to the task. It really is this global endeavor, a real testament to our shared human curiosity, I think, about the universe and how it all works."
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a good reminder that science, it transcends borders, transcends ideologies. We're all united in this quest to understand our place in the cosmos, to figure out how we fit into this grand tapestry of existence.
And what a journey it is. I, for one, am incredibly grateful to, even just to be along for the ride as I guess you could say, an armchair observer.
As Peter Higgs' legacy so beautifully shows us, even just exploring things theoretically, it can have these profound and far-reaching impacts we may not even fully grasp until much later. Who knows what new mysteries are out there waiting for us to uncover them, what new wonders we'll find. That's the beauty of it, right? It's a never-ending adventure.
It really is. Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of the Higgs boson, but as we've seen, it's a world with much more to explore. So keep those questions coming, keep that curiosity alive, and as always, never lose that sense of awe and wonder about this incredible universe that we live in. Thanks for joining us.